Folks, we're going to talk around boosting student engagement. Yes, we're going to use VVox shortly, so do have a smartphone, tablet, or laptop nearby. This is an interactive session. We want you to take part, and I think Izzy's got 3 questions to respond to, but we're going to talk generally first about boosting student engagement in a live teaching session. That session equally could be face-to-face, it could be online, high flex, hybrid, whatever we call it these days. But the 4 key pillars that we get, we work with 59 UK universities using VVox, but this is feedback, or I suppose 4 key themes, 4 key pillars that we get in around those themes. Number 1, make sure that you have a simple user interface and onboarding. I know I'm speaking to the converted here today on the session. It needs to be simple. It needs to be straightforward and easy, both for staff and students to onboard, and certainly it needs to be easy to use to boost that early engagement and adoption rates, but also that would increase frequency of usage down the line. Secondly, have an excellent range of integrations. As we well know, no 2 departments or no 2 schools or faculties want to use learning technology in the same way. So, it has to integrate with your virtual learning environment. It has to integrate well with PowerPoint, Teams, in Zoom, whatever your flavor of connectivity is. So make sure that you have multiple integrations there for different course directors and schools within your university. Equally, the account administrator, that setup and ease of use to invite a new staff member in August needs to be seamless, straightforward, and quick. Also, the administrator needs to know, who's using. So the ability to have that admin dashboard at your fingertips 24/7 gives the user manager or admin eyes on who's using what departments, what schools. And where this is important is that you can look at your champion tech users and take them and, let's just say, you wouldn't mind, sir, madam, sharing your best practice with these other schools and faculties over here. So sharing that best practice is only enabled if you know who your champion users are, and that will appear on the administrator dashboard. And finally, and by no means least at all, is obviously, having a quality customer success team, a world-class team that can bespoke and refine those pedagogies and workflows within the training process to get the most out of any solution at all. So they're just some kind of key themes that we have been told repeatedly by our customers and our UK universities to share with you. I'd like you to join, folks. We're not using the Teams add-in. There is a Teams add-in for VVox that you can add to your ribbon. Typically, that'll open a side panel. But obviously, we're running through the Empowered webinar series today. But on your browser, if you can go to vvox.app, just pop that into your URL on any browser. It will work in all flavors. vvox.app, that'll take you to a landing page. And today's ID is going to be 108 473 826. My colleague Izzy is going to share the dashboard with you very shortly indeed. And there is also a QR code. So without further ado, Izzy, over to you.
Thank you. Let me just share my screen, and as Alan mentioned, we also have a QR code, so feel free to scan that. I'll just leave that out for a couple of seconds whilst I sort my screens out. But as Alan mentioned, please just go to vvox.app, enter the 9-digit ID, or alternatively, a quicker way to join is by scanning the QR code on screen. So wanted to take you through a bit of a quick demonstration of VVox, how it works, some of our key features. So I'll open a couple of poll questions in a second, and then we'll move over to the Q&A board and show you some examples of how to use the Q&A board. So of course, if you've got any questions, do feel free to post it through the Q&A board on your VVox app. So it's just the speech bubble icon. VVox is anonymous today, so all of your questions will be anonymous. All of your poll results are anonymous as well, just to point that out. Brilliant. Hopefully you've all managed to join. Hope you appreciate the background and the logo in the top left corner as well, just to highlight that's something you can do. You can fully customize your VVox sessions to fit the brand of the session that you're teaching. Brilliant. So I'm just going to open my first poll, and this is our word cloud poll. I can see that we've got 23 people, 24 people now have joined the session, which is great. Now I've opened the poll, you will have the word cloud appear on your screen as the participant. And you can just type in to the word cloud, where is your dream holiday destination? So anywhere in the world, perhaps you've been there before, or it's always a dream for you to go there. But I'm sure some of you are familiar with word clouds, but really great to use as an icebreaker, as we're doing today. It's the first question that we're asking. It's just getting everyone onto the Vvox app and answering an easy, light-hearted question. Just to point out on screen, there are a couple of words, well, there's one word and two words that are appearing slightly bigger. So Japan, Cuba, Bali, New Zealand, all of these words are slightly bigger, and that is because they have been entered by more than one person. So the size of each word reflects its frequency. So you can see if there are any popular answers to your word cloud, which we have some coming through, which is great. But yeah, the Maldives, that's definitely a dream bucket list for me. But I'm just going to close that poll there.
I think we've got a clear winner, is he there, with Japan? We can maybe get together, economies of scale, and get a group discount rate.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Brilliant. I'm just going to close that poll there. And then that is my final word cloud displayed on screen. We've just something I wanted to mention with the word cloud. We're actually bringing out a product update within the next couple of weeks, whereby the results to the word cloud and other polls will actually reflect back onto the participant device. So obviously I had the results shown live as they come through. And on the 4th of December, we're bringing that ability to the participant app as well, which is great to see. Cool. Moving over to my second question, which is the first of our quiz questions. So I've just got this question and another one set up. This is our pin on image, and it does have a correct answer set. So on this image of the human skeleton, can you locate the patella? So you just need to click on the image where you think the correct answer is. And then you click on the image and then you click send, and that will send in your answer. I'll keep the poll open for a few more seconds. If you change your answer, you can just click clear and resend in your different choice. But just keep an eye.
You can pinch the you can pinch the image as well. If you're joining in a smartphone, folks, you want to just make it that bit bigger. Yeah, just pinch it there and zoom in that little bit. Might be easier to localize wherever you think it is.
Brilliant. Yeah, exactly. Cool. I've got most of my answers, so I'm just going to close that poll in 3, 2, and 1. So firstly, all of my results are going to be displayed on screen, so I can see by zooming in, we've got very popular answers down here at the kneecaps, and then other answers kind of dotted around throughout the skeleton. And then I'm just going to show my correct answer, which is the knee joint. So as you can see in the top right corner, we've got around 82% of you got the answer correct, which is great. And then with our correct answer explanation down here as well. Last but not least, our second quiz question. So Great Expectations, Oliver Twist and Bleak House are all titles by which famous author? Again, we've got an image up here in the poll, so I can just click on that as a presenter to make that bigger. But this is a multiple choice with the correct answer set, so just click on the answer that you think it is. That will automatically send in your response. And I'm just going to close that poll in 3, 2, and 1. Again, we'll see who gave which answers. We can see we've got a clear winner with Charles Dickens, which is of course correct. So well done to, again, nearly 60%, 62% of you who got that correct. And as you can see, lots of information here on the right-hand side. I won't bore you all with reading it out, but yeah, any extra kind of text or reasoning behind the correct answer, you can put that through when setting up the poll and that will appear to your students. Brilliant. So I only had 3 polls set up just because of time, but I just wanted to also show you our leaderboard as well. So because our our second and third questions were quiz questions, so questions with a correct answer set, they're technically quiz questions. So Vvox automatically adds up how each participant is doing. You can display the leaderboard at any point, and that will show your participant which place they're currently scoring. So on your phone, as soon as the leaderboard is open, you will see your score and the place that you're currently scoring. And on my screen as the presenter, I can see that we have 10 people scoring in first place with 2 out of 2 questions correct. So yeah, the leaderboard is completely optional, but you can display that as often as you'd like. Well done to those who got first place. There was no prize, unfortunately, but yeah, well done. Brilliant. I'm just going to move over to our Q&A board. So we can see that we've got a couple of questions in there, which is great. So we'll answer the questions towards the end of this presentation. But just wanted to use another show you another example of how you can use the Q&A board, which is asking your students, what are your weekend plans? So feel free to go through to the Q&A board and just type in and send what you're up to this weekend. So of course you can send it, you can use the Q&A board for actual questions, but also for discussion around certain topics. Again, it's helping people kind of break the ice a bit more. It gives people a voice. Some people might be a bit more, a bit more shy. They might not feel the need to put their hand up when they have a question. But using the Q&A board, as mentioned, it's anonymous, so it gives them a lot more confidence in asking their questions. Brilliant. Got lots of comments coming through, which is great. So the Q&A board by default is sorted by most liked. So as a participant, you can actually go through and you can like any other comments that have been sent in by the other participants. And as a presenter, I can just go through and I can sort that by most liked, and I can go from the top and read through all of the comments that have come through from the most liked down. See which ones are most popular. So watching Strictly, that's the most popular one for this weekend. Once I've answered my questions or read out the comments, I can actually just archive it from the present view. So I can just hide that there. I can just do the same. So this looks great. That's brilliant. I'll point you all towards our Help articles in a second. So if you don't have a Vvox account already, feel free to sign up for a free account via our website. But yes, that is all that I wanted to go through and show you guys today. But I'll hand back over to Alan. Oh, you're on mute, Alan.
Thank you very much indeed, Izzy. And let me just reshare my screen with you folks.
Yeah.
There we go. Just let me know or give me a thumbs up or okay when you can see that okay, folks?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Folks, we're using the Vvox dashboard here. This is the the back end, the backside of what Izzy has shown us, and the polls. You can see the questions here, as well as the Q&A that's been collected. We can obviously sort that, as Izzy said, by most recent or most likes, of course, etc. there as well. There's surveys, that's asynchronous quizzes and quizzes and surveys built into the solution as well. The data is all held for the polls, Q&A, and the survey results in one place. So we can see results right there for the word cloud, for our skeleton, our patella. Of course, you all knew it was the knee now, or now you do. And also for the multi-choice type question there as well. All that data can be shared via a public link, which I will do with Anshul, or downloaded or pulled into your VLE for Blackboard, Canvas, Moodle, etc. Today, just to show we've set that home screen up with your logos, banners, and a little bit text and links, URL links built in there as well. We're running, you'll be glad to know, maybe some of you in fully anonymous mode, so you were not identified whatsoever using Vvox. And Izzy and I have shared the session, so we're able to co-author and create that, as well as theme it. So again, you can fill in the nice banner that Angela uses for these sessions, and obviously the logos, colors, etc. can all be matched as well. If you're an administrator, you would have an account that allows you to look at the analytics. So on every annual year, or following the academic year, you'll be able to see how many sessions, participants that you're actually boosting engagement with, but also you were able to check on your own departmental usage, who your highest tech champion users are. Are we just using the live polls? Are we using the student Q&A board and the surveys, asynchronous quizzes, etc.? All of these will boost student engagement in live teaching sessions. And to my point at the beginning, those integrations are absolutely key, because one course might want to use PowerPoint by default. Another one might be online, and they might want to use Teams. So those integrations are absolutely key to setting all of that fun stuff up for you as well. If I just jump back to my PowerPoint slides, folks, Vivox is rated #1 on all platforms. When I talk about a platform, I'm sure you've all heard of Trustpilot, and maybe G2 or Capterra as well in an IT mode or software comparison mode. And we are a UK company. We're headquartered in Hampshire, so not a million miles away. All our data is EU cloud hosted, as well as we work with 59 UK and Irish universities on an enterprise institution-wide basis. We're rated #1. We don't take that lightly, but for ease of use and to mirror those key themes that I mentioned at the beginning, that is everything. It's absolutely key to those early adoption rates and higher frequency of usage once the platform is up and running. And obviously for features and integrations, hopefully a flavor of that has come across today. But we do work with a world-class customer success team. That is absolutely key to building out those pedagogies for individual schools and faculties and departments and course directors. Let's face it, they want to do things their own way. They might have been with the university for 5, 10, 15 years. They don't want to change, so we will assist and help them to build out those workflows and pedagogies in whatever way they so wish. Typically, our engagement starts with a pilot and then transitioned into a site license. We offer unlimited pilots effectively. It's not limited to 10, 20 staff, etc. But effectively, we would roll those out via the customer success manager, which Izzy is. And as I say, we want to really boost the student engagement as much as we can by engaging in different ways, by polling, via the student Q&A board, and via the asynchronous quizzes and surveys. So all of those 3 elements can be built into any Vivox session. In summary, students become engaged participants. We know this, that anonymity that we're running today in today's session removes those barriers to interactions, particularly with students, maybe accessibility issues or ESL, English as a second language. There's no bias, there's no stigmatism. Everyone's an equal within the Vivox platform, and that is equally true and has really become prevalent over the last 2-3 years. It doesn't matter if it's a face-to-face session, in a HyFlex or hybrid type session, it is equally valid to boost student engagement, and student satisfaction increases off the back of that surge. Professors and our lecturers connect in different ways. You've seen the multi-choice, the word cloud, the leaderboard today, and also the Q&A board. Q&A is fantastic. I'm sure you've all been a lecturer. 2-hour lecture, you've seen students' attention span drop off after 30 minutes, 40 minutes, if you're lucky, if not sooner. And, pop open the Q&A board on screen. Take a time out, maybe look at the top 2 trending topics, open that up for discussion within your student group, and that inter-peer discussion is so important to further the learning gains and boosting engagement with the students, because they can see their comments, they can see their questions, they can see them being upvoted within the Q&A board, and it is almost student-led, but again, it's totally up to the instructor, the professor, to pop that on screen as and when they wish. And it really does offer a huge surge in engagement whenever students can see that effectively their own comments and questions are leading the session. Finally, folks, just before we open the session up to a bit of Q&A, you remain in control. So access to all your sessions for boosting student engagement is through the online dashboard that Izzy shared with us. You can set up your own moderation controls. So for example, if Izzy didn't want those comments and questions appearing on the Q&A board, those would just go into a holding pattern, so to say, until Izzy hit the button to release those. Identification can be switched on off. It is off. It is anonymous by default in all sessions for Vivox. But obviously, if you want to do a gradebook pull into Blackboard, Moodle, Canvas, Brightspace, you need that ID switched on. And effectively, Vivox will appear as an item or as an assignment in each of those VLE flavors. And by clicking on that, as set up by the professor or lecturer, it will take the student directly to the Vivox landing page that you were on today. So that VLE linkage integrations that I mentioned at the beginning is absolutely key to boosting student engagement because it provides the front door, it provides the landing page for students to join a session in the first place and makes it easy and seamless for them and staff. User and administrated sessions can all be tweaked again on a per school or per faculty basis, depending on what they want. And access to all new and historical content and data is owned by the university. Just a point in case there's any questions on GDPR and all that fun data protection stuff. We host data in EU West or AWS West in Ireland. So none of the data transits outside the EU cloud. And with that in mind, folks, if there are any questions for Izzy and I, we would be delighted to take those.